Morning at NTV, and we're live from Kampala Serena Conference Center. I'm Andrew Chamagero, Omuntu Awansi. We're still fighting against COVID-19, and today the enforcers of the lockdown are operating under the assumption that every essential worker has received a travel permit. To speak to us about the enforcement operations in Kampala going forward, we have Mr. Anderson Burora, Herbert, the RCC for Nakawa Division. Good morning, RCC.
Good morning.
I'll start off with a question on Twitter of one James. He's saying, Andrew, thank you so much for alerting us that you'll be with the RCC this early morning. I want to know places of Ntinda, Chisasi, Chigowa, Chanja, Chira, Kamocha, everything's to be normal. Are they under a lockdown or just a few?
Everything was normal until when I chose to single-handedly get involved in the operations. Because before you would think that maybe you will let organs do business as normal, but also we had a lapse whereby the Ministry of Works had not issued the stickers for the essential workers. So we let that week be more of a convenient week for everything to be done.
Working week, yes.
But also we thought since the president had just talked, addressed the country, some of the memories are still fresh in our ears.
True.
Really we thought citizens or people should be responsible enough. And it is becoming hard whereby we have to crack the whip every now and then.
You have to remind
them. Have to be in enforcement, which is a citizen call for everyone to do what is right, as and when it is required. So when I saw it was like as if no one is heeding to the call.
Especially in those areas.
Yeah, I started with the Chisasi on Saturday evening, and I realized the problem. Actually, that's when I chose to be
involved. Yes.
I realized that most of people who own like supermarkets, who own these big shops and big hotels,
and some gyms,
they have some sort of power, the pseudo power, whereby they threaten sometimes junior officers. Yeah. And some of them are helped by some senior officers within the government. You see,
whom you know by now.
Security, whom I know by now.
Okay.
And in security, once a senior officer tells you something,
you have to abide.
You have to abide because he's a senior officer. You have to respect the rank. You have to call. But again, respecting the rank does not mean that you heed to violation. That you need to breaking the law, this and that. So even me, the first time I went through, people would tell me, talk to this one.
So I'm like, Gamba no. Then they hand it over.
I talk to who? Is it the president? Because in this case, I can only discuss how to relax with the president. No one else.
It's a directive.
And the president has said this. And if it is that, really, we should understand the spirit. Andrew, if you hear people who have been in the RCU...
Yes, I have been there. I know how bad it is.
If you look at these flying bills on social media...
100 plus.
One is demanding a body, 100 millions, 20 millions, 30 millions. And people are still playing about it. Last week, someone came to office and he was like, I wanted Chibali to go and take my wife to the hospital. Said the girl talked with a lot of enthusiasm, talking with a lot of love. See, he said, my friend, you seem to be in love with your wife. You call your wife and I say hi.
She must be here.
She must be. Said she had given me a cheat details of the wife, what. So I called she calls the wife. How are you? No, Christine.
You still have these
I have. Details. I look at the paper. Kuliko
totally different name.
Navuga, kwaliko
Navuga.
Navuga Karo. So nkati bikwatagana. I looked at the guy, is this your wife? Obo yise mulala. Vyumpadde nga tebikwatagana.
Yes.
So people are used to even finding all means
to move around.
To the extent you are going to hire even a woman you don't know. Because usually they are used to Mama Gundi.
Yes.
They never know the real names.
Yes.
So he just wrote what came in his mind, but the real names of the person are different.
Now,
so we realize the challenge is actually a little bit complex.
Yes.
That even one who wants to be on the road, he will be on the road for the wrong reasons, but with the right character that permits him to be on the road.
Yes.
But he's there for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
So why would we reach to this extent? And this is why at some point security gets into hard knuckles.
And that's the question I want to ask you, RCC. Why is the security around your division of Chiwatule, Chisasi, Chanja, Najera, Kulambiro relaxed?
No, it's not relaxed. As I told you that we had put a window to let the ministry get out the stickers. But again, Chanja, those areas are residential areas, which actually have almost all the essential workers. The media, the telecoms, construction, being but also you don't have to dispense the issue of population. Kampala's population is about close to 3 million people.
That's a big one.
Yes, it's a big one. And some stay in the suburbs. If we have medics and all the hospitals, by the way, I realize that we have quite a number of hospitals around. Now we have this bloated political leadership who also want, by the way,
to be on the road.
The councillor wants to be on the road.
What is the councillor going to do? A meeting
for example, my council has 90 councillors of Nakawa. So if every councillor has a permission, those are 90 cars. I have more than 100 hospitals around, small and big. If each of them has more than 5 essential doctors or nurses or workers in them, now 5 times 100, those are like 500. We have these telecoms. We have you media. Really, even if we allowed only the few, still it will look as if no one is at home.
We have traffic jam in Intinda in the evening.
Yes, in actual sense. One time I did my own, we did with the Tichira Road. And we realized everyone who was coming is a medical worker. Like they are leaving, going back home. But then within that, we have, when the president said security companies should continue. Now everyone has an identity card of either a director or manager of a certain security company. Now we have gone on an extra mile to say, if we are a security firm, we can only allow your personnel, vans. Only vans. Because the manager, what are you doing outside at 8?
What are you managing?
What are you managing?
Just hang in there.
Some things we are going to have to interrupt and disrupt for some time, and I think when we are back to normal, things can get back to where they used to be.
That is Aurora Habib Anderson, the RCC of Nakawa Division. Joining me now is my colleague Stephen Mbide, who happens to be at Clock Tower in Kampala. Stephen, what is the situation like where you are? Are people abiding by the SOPs as guided by the president? And have you seen some security around then? What could they be doing now? Mbide?
You know, Andrew Chamagero Mutuawansi, apart from people having masks, but the issue of staying at home, many of them are just saying, afande ndekamu ngende nonye etokeri abana. This is the situation here. They are saying that afande ndekamu, but also the afandes are saying towa chitambuliso yako. They are just asking for IDs because many of these people are supposed to be staying at home. According to the presidential directive that was issued the other Friday, and now we're counting 9 days of the 42 days of the lockdown. But here, as you can see, people are trying to explain themselves. That here, Afande, I'm going here and there, and they are trying to explain themselves, and they're going to do either some essential work or they are trying to go to either hospitals or wherever. But I've seen also some people being beaten here, those who are trying to insist and cross this barricade here. And also that across the roadside, you also see that also traffic officers and other police officers trying to ensure that people who are not supposed to access the city center do not cross there. But for those who are on the road, if you're driving, just know that of course there is no congestion. You're just driving on a smooth flow of traffic as you're coming from the rest of the Entebbe Road or coming from Gaba Road and industrial area, crossing this clock tower here, joining the city center. Apart from that, people are being chased away to go back home. And this is what is happening here at the clock tower. Many of them are not allowed to cross towards the city, apart from those who are having either national IDs or their work IDs to show that, yes, they are really going to offer essential service from this other side of the city. Unless you have to understand anything else from here, and this is the situation at Clock Tower. I can update you for now. I'll be coming to you later on with issues on the ground. Back to you, Andrew Chamagero, 1C.
Thank you so much, Mbide. That is quite very exciting. But I see people quite very interactive. They're just walking. A couple of them, the masks are below their nose, rather their nostrils, and that is worrying me. So keep safe and keep safe wherever you are, Mbide. I'll be tapping into you a little later. That's my colleague Mbide. He's on the ground. So RCC, let's look at this. What are the modalities of getting a travel permit in Kampala? Because we applied online and we've been having running battles with Susan Kataike. I applied, it's not coming out. Now, in the wake of the movements where we are today, how does one get around the travel?
First of all, there are very, very minimal spaces for movement as of now, because of what we are trying to control, which is the spread. Now, I think the first, which I would say it was right, but it turned out to be a mistake.
Yes.
Was to allow online applications. We
have over 1 million people who applied.
You have over 1 million people. First of all, how do you sort them? How do you come to conclusion of that? How do you determine?
What could have been the best angle to this?
It would, but the time, with which we are doing this. So
doesn't this show you that your president and your chairperson did not communicate fully to the committees because this is a contingency plan.
You see what a contingency plan.
He would have talked to the minister and said, please plan for this because I'm going to roll out this.
Initially, what we are all trying to do is to avert what we are going through. And we don't have space and time to apportion blame. We just have to support each other and offer solutions. So if we go into the blame game,
now and I'll take your pass for that. We shouldn't go there.
Yes, we shouldn't go there. So now, in the first place, people who are supposed to move are people who are with emergencies. Two are people who are, like you've lost your loved one, you're going for burial. You're taking the body for burial.
And you are not more than... So how do we move? We move with one pickup and a taxi of us behind?
Yes, but not this thing. No, that is not allowed.
Okay.
So that is one category of emergencies and those who are going for burial. The other category is for essential workers. Those people, and for essential workers, how the hell can we have 1 million essential workers? The president said we downsize to 30%.
10%.
You get it? 30%. How can you say that everyone? Because when we did this roadblock, everyone, journalist, telecom, journalist,
security.
Even now, those who have IT companies, they have small firms who can even work at home. They are presenting their telecom as essentials. Now, that's where we get challenges that maybe some people don't understand the magnitude
of what we're dealing with.
What we are dealing with.
Your office is far from some of us. I stay in Chihuahua. I have an emergency and I have to move. Do I need to come to your office and I get a travel permit?
There are emergencies where you don't have to move. The president was specific and categoric. The president said if you have an emergency, like you want to take someone to the hospital, you have the nearest chairperson. That one can help you to move within your area. Drive from home to the nearest hospital. Now the challenge we have are these you people, abantu bawagulu, who claim my doctor, I'm going to see my doctor.
I'm on appointment.
My doctor is in Mbarara. I want to move to Mbarara to see my doctor. And yes, would your body walk to your doctor in Mbarara?
No, rationally, it's pointless.
You can't. So why can't you seek
any medical
attention around you at this moment? We are at war, and we want to cross through the fire. We want to cross through the tankers to go. Would you reach?
To see the doctor.
To see the doctor. Would you reach?
You could possibly
Why
die.
do you subject yourself to these disruptions? Roadblock after roadblock after roadblock after. Isn't it tiring?
And some of your officers are very nagging.
Yes.
You answer the question and they will nag again with the same question.
And this is how this
Security
is what
works.
we are going through. Some of our officers are tired. And you want them to play the customer care role throughout the day, which is impossible. They can't.
Okay, let's talk about
subject security to be a customer care center. No, you're going to have to. The hassle is not important. So why don't you stay close to where you are? Why would you come to the RDC? You want to go past the district.
Okay.
Because there, I can link with my colleagues.
On the other side?
On the other side.
Okay.
And say, I am sending you, even sometimes even put a note. If you're returning, you have to seek permission from them. But if you go with my note, it's a little bit easier than when you go without.
Okay. Let's talk about the COVID relief. This time the conversation is about mobile money. We have waited for the Right Honorable Nabanje to release the funds and all that. You as leaders on the ground, how do you identify the needy? And is there a better way?
No, there is no better way. Always.
So you believe the mobile money approach is better?
But you see, we are not God. We are not God to say now we are not going to be like the grace of God. Like when it rains to the sinner and the righteous.
It rains to all of us.
When it rains, that is God. It's only God who can do that.
Okay.
It is only God who can answer our needs accordingly.
So,
So you want to take us as if we are the next of kin to God. It is not true.
What I'm trying to
in
look
our
for,
areas, we all know who is vulnerable.
You know all the vulnerable?
We know who is needy.
Boss.
We know who is, yes.
So
I can tell you.
How do you gauge that someone is vulnerable?
But to begin with, let me tell you this. We should learn to respect our leaders.
That's true.
3 years ago, the president came up with an idea which could have worked for us today.
What was the idea?
The idea of clustering people in their clusters.
Yes. The elders, yes. Yes.
They say border.
We are here.
Make your associations and circles. Strictly only borders.
Saloon.
The same. Restaurants, the same. Carpenters, the same. Welders, the same. Tax, all of them. Market people, the same. If we had followed that without involving the politics and our sentiments, today it would be easier to say our border who are registered.
This is your
take.
Relief.
Who are you? The list is here, contacts are here. Taxi, who are not working, where are you? We are here. Every category that was
would be catered for.
And it is the most vulnerable.
The taxi people?
No. All categories that we are locked out, that are not working. And the
Juwakalis.
Now, we go back. Who else is vulnerable? We have people who are sick. They are HIV patients.
Yes. They need to get their drugs
yes,
and
we
all
have,
their feeding.
we have organizations within our areas that are taking care of them. It is easy to identify them. The other category that is there that we would look at, it is not official. Yes, it is illegal, but they are Ugandans. They are there. These would be the street children. They are there. They have no legal obligation, but they are Ugandans and they are there.
It's an open secret.
It is an open secret. And we cannot say that they can go and hang. So for those ones, we can look at it. Then there are these people who make alarms. They are not there. They are there against their will. They are there. We all know they are wrong, but they are Ugandans and they are there.
And we have to listen to
them. And
them.
we have to listen to them. Because as a government, you have to give an ear to everyone. Akwagala na atakwagala. These are nekolera jang.
Come again.
I saw Muhammad Bin Saleko quarreling over it.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but you see, they are there.
We can't shoot them under the carpet, and we know.
We can't say now, you die, we shall bury. No. These are real facts. These are real life.
Yes.
We have to deal with them. Then in our areas, we have expectant mothers who are vulnerable. And you have to, they are not, yes, there are many, but Kampala Bazara, that is for a fact. And in, now that this is feeding, this COVID is an extension of the previous, you can imagine.
There is a baby boom coming.
There is a baby boom coming. You have to give it, you know, an understanding that you have to provide for them. Then, the rest are the elders in the areas. These elders, we can easily identify them. And as on and on and on, you can fail to identify who is vulnerable. Yes, and at this moment, everyone is vulnerable.
That's true.
The first lockdown, when we were distributing food, these apartments, they would say,
whenever we would knock on the gate, they would...
But towards the end of the distribution, I think 1 month into the lockdown, we were passing an apartment somewhere in Simbi's or maintained.
Yes, yes.
They almost burnt the car.
Those are good apartments.
They almost burnt the car. People almost burnt the car.
They needed food.
So we had to give them kaunga. So at some point, everyone gets vulnerable.
Do you as leaders have a plan for what's coming ahead? Because people have not felt the lockdown yet, because it's the first week, around the third week. Do we have, because they're going to be unruly, they're going to be desperate. You as leaders on the ground, what kind of strategy do you have that comes into to counteract with the alarmism of some leaders on the ground? Yes,
the alarmism is, I can't speak on behalf of elsewhere. I can speak on behalf of my division, but certainly everyone is listening. Right now, it is the time that we should offer leadership. And I want to thank some leaders in the opposition who have gone on to mobilize
positively,
and who have gone on to enlighten the country.
Nice.
I want really to salute them. I have for the first time getting, you know, a reason to sit and listen to some
positive vibes.
Positive vibes. It's the time where we must be one.
As a country.
There's nothing like sitting and you say, because that is dangerous to everyone. You see, the bad thing with this virus is that when Andrew is sick, 99 chances are like, I'm going to be sick.
Yes.
Like if in this workplace you have someone who is unruly, he lives his life the way everyone here is going to be vulnerable.
Very much so.
So if you have a leader who is politicizing at this moment, and the good thing is, it is bad, but it is a good example. You see, even a bad example is an example.
It can tell something.
Yes, at least now we have seen people dying.
And every family at least has someone they know.
The negative and positive part of it is we have come to realize that money is not the issue.
It's never.
Huh? Even if you have billions of money, COVID will not spare you.
Oh, yes.
So the only solution now, and the multi-billion solution is prevention. So how do we prevent? Do we prevent by speaking against the lockdown? Do we present? Do we lead by you know, mobilizing people to come back on the street? Doesn't that tantamount to treason?
That is very heavy.
Yeah, I mean, what is treason anyway? If you're leading people into a den of fire, a hole of fire, what are you doing? No one is interested.
Leadership.
Andrew, I go to bed at 2. I leave home at 4, 5.
Leadership.
Do you think I am happy?
You should be happy.
And do you
because
think I am...
that is the mandate. No, because that's your mandate, but again, you're offering leadership at a very critical time. As you're winding up here, RCC, Kiza says, tell the RCC that his officers in the hinted areas ask us for money.
Which officers?
The officers.
I have one office.
No, the security officers in this regard, they ask for money for people to move. And
No, that is,
are you
one,
aware that that's
that is one challenge. Me, I always have a problem. I speak against it, but I think they also fancy it.
The officers?
No, the one giving the money. In the first place, you are wrong.
To give.
To give. Secondly, why are you giving? Because you are also wrong. Because you're giving to
the
buy
give and the
yourself
one taking?
out.
Yeah.
No, before you go to the one taking, you are giving, which is wrong. Why are you giving? You are giving because you are in the wrong place. You're buying yourself out. Three, you don't want to be apprehended. You don't want to be arrested. But for you not to be arrested and impounded, you have to give. Again. Now, that is the third account. The fourth account, why have you left home? Why are you in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Okay.
Those are four accounts. Now, the receiver has certainly one account. Why is he letting you go when you should have not gone? So, who is to blame? The first or the second?
The one who initiates.
The one who initiates. And you don't want to talk about the initiator.
You're talking about the receiver.
You are talking about the receiver.
Okay. There is another message that came in from Muyenga. This one said that in Muyenga, we were made to sit down and they told us whoever has 5,000 can go on. Then another person here says that RCC, are you aware, you as working with the government, that some places where you put the roadblocks, there are no toilet facilities for your officers? How are you these are issues. We are dealing with a crisis, but you put your officers next to Ntinda Trading Center, where all malls are closed, and these are the malls that have the restrooms. How are you going around
No, and not all malls are closed. There are facilities that are open. And we are not going to erect a toilet wherever we are going to put a roadblock. This is where we ask for cooperation. Actually, in actual sense, you should be taking care of these people. You should be taking care of.
Okay.
Because they are doing you a service. They are helping everyone. In the essence, you would say, let's take care of these people. Because these are servants. They are in the service.
And they're serving at a critical time.
They are serving at a critical time. So don't look at where Kiza
Ronnie says that why are officers beating some people on the streets? We have seen incidents here where they beat even health workers with IDs in uniform and all that. Why are they beating some people who really introduce themselves that I'm an insertion worker, I'm from work, but there is this,
Now, let me help you people. If you see danger ahead, don't say this danger doesn't concern me. Wait until when the situation has normalized. If you find an operation taking place, like for example, I saw officers going on telling people,
yes,
banange mudde waka temulina kubeera mu bitundu bino mugende waka that is the first stage. And you have heard it happening. Don't say akakati because there are hundreds. You see, when you are in an operation, no one is going to understand, and this is the argument
because you're dealing with angry people.
Listen, this is the argument I had when we did the roadblock. Some would say, so I was like, now, if we are in an operation, we are telling people to go home.
And Chamagero is on the road.
Chamagero is on the road, the other one is there. When I let you go, there is someone who is certainly 200 meters away who will not understand why I have let you to go.
True.
So you will say, that is where the issue of corruption comes in.
Okay.
Because they have not understood the whole idea. So when you are doing it, it is a universal thing.
Okay.
everyone will go. You can come back later when the situation has normalized and explain. But when an operation is going on, there is no way you are going to just fight to say gwegenda, gwetogenda. You're dealing with certainly thousands.
I'm waiting for you to answer the beating, though.
The beating, where the beating comes, sometimes is as a result of this defiance. There are some defiant people. And when there is that semblance of understanding, there are usually these people who crack you off, like who push
Gamba
you hard.
nog.
Leave alone the gamba nog. There are those ones who are even going to bitterly respond to you.
Oh, yes.
You know, and they are like, now
They are
I am
in charge
trying
of
to
their
do
country.
this. Someone is trying now to show me that what
They
I
are
am
in charge.
doing is not actually important. That the enforcement I am trying to do has no sense anymore.
Does not count.
Does not count. And you see, officers, as I told you, these are not customer care
They are
centers.
military men.
They
They
are
are
military.
soldiers.
If they tell you Chamagole, go home.
Order the order.
Don't bring your logic. Don't
you
bring your
don't reason.
intellectualism. Don't bring your law sense. Constitution. These are my rights.
I have a right.
I have a right to
movement.
do this. No. Give them a benefit of doubt. First of all, to do their job. Let them clear. You can come back later when the situation has normalized and say ABCD.
As we're finalizing.
And this also happens in when there are riots and what. And you see journalists running ahead of soldiers, running ahead of fire. You get it?
Getting the best shot.
Yeah, to get the best shot. But the issue here is not the best shot.
It's life.
The issue is life. I am in fire, stones crossing, sounds here, alarms there. For me to come to my senses and start saying this is a journalist, this is a woman, it will not be.
Oh, yeah.
So here we need to work closely. The beating comes as a result of disobedience.
Okay. Now, given that you're in Kampala here, we have seen some districts like in Fort Portal, they said the security and the RDC, they came up with Fort Portal measures. Do we have measures in Kampala that are going to be a little bit unique? Or now from your division of Nakawa division?
We are actually, what we are doing, this whip we are trying to crack. This very week is going to be intense.
Tough.
Very tough. Very tough to anyone. We are trying to put our house to order.
Okay.
Maybe the rest can copy. But among the things we are looking at, one, we are looking at how do we handle markets. Not at security level, but also the welfare.
True.
Then we are looking at how we have so many essential workers.
Yes,
How
from your
because
division.
we are a city, our challenges are quite different from Fort Portal.
Yes, true.
We are dealing with so much of
Metropolitan issues.
We are dealing with the land, we are doing the educated, we are doing
the ones who know their rights.
activists, politicians, everyone, and their livelihood survives on
Talking.
That is one. Their livelihood survives on activism. Their livelihood survives on antagonism. That is their life. So we are dealing with part of those. But also we are dealing with a big population of residentials, of commercial.
That's true.
Of what? These are so many challenges to deal with. If we are talking about Ntinda and what, how many hospitals are in Ntinda? How many retail shops are in Ntinda? How many banks are in Ntinda? How many institutional offices are in Ntinda? All of that, to deal with it, you may look at it as if it is maybe a normal situation, but in actual sense it is not. And we have to regulate who is to come in, who is to come out. Some people have genuine reasons. I am going to pick my patient from the hospital. It's a genuine reason. But when you see them on the road, you will say, banotebakola, because you are seeing cars. But you see, Andrew, let me tell you this.
In 1 minute.
In 1 minute. If we seal off everyone, we are not going in the process of implementing these guidelines. We have to make sure that we also facilitate the economy.
True.
To remain afloat. We are going to make sure that all these hospitals want supplies. All of these retail shops want supplies.
True.
The country needs taxes. We are going to have to use a lot of effort to make
rebound
sure
back.
that certain things remain running. When this person who is saying that goes to the hospital and there is no salt, rather to the retail shop,
Yeah.
when they go to the hospital and the PPEs are not there, the medicine is not there,
Oh, blame the
because we
government.
have closed out everyone,
Everything.
we are going to run into a crisis. So in this, you just don't think we are relaxed. We are dealing to make sure that the security is at par. We are working hard to make sure that the economy remains afloat. We are making sure that to make sure that when you are at home, on your WhatsApp, the internet is there.
Come on.
The network is there, because this network has someone who has to facilitate its full-time transmission.
Okay.
You have to make sure that the electricity
It's
is still on. We are going to have to make sure that water is in constant supply.
We're in a water stress
area. For you are looking at it as if it is just a matter of, no, we are making sure that everything has to remain running.
So it's from the strategy to the operations and the tactical that everything stays normal from the end.
It has to.
That is Anderson Burora, Habat, the RCC of Nakawa Division. One thing that's clear, if you're staying in Nakawa Division, Chira, Chisasi, Najera, Chanje, be very careful, because they have started to crack the whip and it's not going to be easy. It's morning at NTV. COVID is real and COVID kills. Make sure you wear your mask correctly if you're moving around, and make sure you stay away from crowds. Sanitize and wash your hands with clean running water and soap. Above all, stay home and stay safe. We'll take a break for now. We'll be back. Good morning.